Well, I want to tell you something. This is the first march on any capital in the country during 2010. Congratulations to Maryland! You are leading the way!
Let's stand in front of them.
And I think these politicians do hear you here in Annapolis. And I'll tell you something else the rest of the country's watching. Just north of here in a state called Massachusetts. You heard about that Senate race? I don't know if you guys saw the debate or the YouTube video, but the conservative candidate said, it's not the Kennedy seat, it's the people's seat. And you know what? Politicians need to learn, here in Maryland and across the country, when they're big spenders. It's not their seat, it's your seat. And that's what they're going to learn this year. I know this may sound a little bit odd, but I've not been this optimistic in many years. And I know that may sound odd considering the challenges we face. But think back for just a minute to last year at this time. Think back. We had a president who was the most popular president, arguably in history, for his first term in the first month of his term. They were talking, he had majorities in the Senate and the House, and they promised the biggest healthcare takeover in American history. Everyone thought it was a done deal, right? All of the political pundits said, we're going to pass this. The president said, I want it on my desk by August at the latest. The Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, and Steny Hoyer from right here in Maryland. They said, don't worry, by the August recess, we'll have this thing done. Maybe Labor Day at the latest. But these politicians and the political pundits and the mainstream media, they forgot one thing. They forgot the American people had a say as well. And the American people have had their say for months now. And they've made it clear. They're not going to stand, and we're not going to stand for government getting between us and our doctors. We're not going to stand for it. You know, earlier this year, President Obama and his advisors were saying, if I can just get my message to the American people on health care, we're going to win this thing, right? You heard him say that?
Yeah.
I've got news for the president. It's not a problem of hearing him. We're hearing him loud and clear. We just don't believe him. Do you believe the president and Nancy Pelosi when they say the government will take over health care and save money? Are you kidding? Have they looked at Amtrak or the post office or Medicare, which is right now Medicare, a $37 trillion unfunded liability? If they're going to do for us on health care what they're doing for the post office is losing billions, for Medicare that's $36 trillion in the hole, thanks but no thanks. And we're going to win that battle on health care. I am telling you this. The biggest friend the other side thinks they have is the argument of inevitability, right? They keep telling us, oh, it's a done deal. We're going to get this thing done. And I guess like most folks in government, they miss their deadlines every single time. And we're going to keep making them miss those deadlines. And I'm asking you not to give up on this fight to protect our health care. We can win this thing. We can win it if we keep standing up and keep fighting. It's a sixth of our economy. 1/6 of our economy is in health care. And they will drive it through the roof. But more importantly than that, many of you are parents or grandparents. My wife and I have 4 children. And we're going to make sure we do our part to make sure their health care is in their hands, their parents' hands, and not the government hands. We're going to win this, folks. And there's one other issue. And by the way, on a cold night like this, we need the biggest emitter of hot air in the United States. That's Al Gore, right? This second issue of cap and trade, or cap and tax, right? We know what's involved with cap and tax. And a year ago, all the pundits were saying, thank goodness this is the year. This is the year we pass cap and tax, or cap and trade as they call it. 2009 is over, and if we keep doing our job, cap and trade is deader than a doornail, my friends. We're going to win that one. Americans have stood up and they've taken notice, and they've figured out, just like all of us have figured out, that when you hear the word cap and trade, you can think about the following. It means higher taxes, the biggest tax increase in modern American history, as utility bills will go through the roof in cold winters like we're having right now. You know, my folks live in South Carolina. It's cold there this year as well. And they live on a fixed income. And if the liberals had their way, my mom and dad's utility bills, two seniors in their 70s on a fixed income, would be paying double for their utility bills. We're not going to let that happen, are we? We're going to win this battle.